Studio 110.live, back at it, y'all. Beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon out here in the Pacific Northwest. The sunshine is out. Shout out to our boy Ryan. He purchased some really cool, dope-ass lawn chairs for our after-show patio. I can see those being highly put into effect properly for all the guests coming up in the studio now on these nice sunny afternoons here in downtown Bellevue. On the 33rd floor, where we broadcast the big show from Everyday Studio 110.live. Make sure you're following us on our Instagram, Studio110.live. Got an exciting show today. We're gonna do some food business conversations from a local vendor here in Seattle who we respect, who we do some business with here locally at Studio110.live, and got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna get Erica Herrera, my show producer and assistant, to talk about how people can buy the last remaining tickets for the big Studio 110.live launch party going down with many surprises this coming Saturday night here. And what else do we got on the show today? We're going to talk about some music news stories. Obviously, Meek Mill is definitely back in music news. Kanye West and Kim, they've been having kind of some fun beef going on about some recent pictures. And some other stories that we'll be talking about this afternoon. The first guest, good friend of mine for many years, an icon in the fashion business. He goes by Tony Shellman. He's currently working with T.I. on revamping his brand, and he's worked with a lot of celebrities. A big fashion executive out of New York City. We're going to call my guy Tony Shellman up right now, and I just talked to him a few minutes ago. And let's get Tony here on the air with us at Studio 110.live. Tony Shelman, you're live on the air with me. Thank you very much for coming on.
What's going on, Harris?
Tony,
how's my Seattle team doing? What up, C-Town?
It's always good to connect with my boy Tony Shelman, even though we haven't seen each other in some time. We always miss each other when I'm on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Welcome to my brand new show, Tony Shelman Studio 110.live, and I appreciate you hopping on the air with me. And you and I go way, way, way back. We go way back, and
we go back like Cadillac, baby.
Yeah, we definitely go back sometime. And I was excited to have you on the show with me today because I want to do a whole big fashion segment with you. So first off, man, how you been?
I'm good, man. Just rock and rolling, baby. Out here managing these brands, baby. Getting things popping.
You're definitely an icon and a well-respected figure in the fashion business, located out there in New York City. What's currently on the plate right now? What's on the desk right now?
Oh man, I'm rocking and rolling with Play Clothes. That's Pusha T's brand. Hustle Gang. That's T.I.'s brand, and T.I.'s other brand called a Coup. So we have a multi-conglomerate of brands, and of course, not for me, but on the RP55 deck, we have BBC in our house as well. So there's a lot of brands, but for me, it's mainly a Coup, Hustle Gang, and Play Clothes.
And how do you keep them all properly counterbalanced ultimately at the end of the day, all on your plate?
Oh man, it's a lot. You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm very fortunate. I work with a lot of great young people, and it's like me. I'm like a coach of a team, so I got to manage a lot of great ball players. And so, it's just a lot of hard work and, getting out there, man. That's one thing, they always give millennials a hard time, but my millennials know how to work. At least I make them work. So that's what it is, man. Working hard and keeping your eye on the ball and just focus, man. Focus, baby. Let's get the bag. You can't get the bag if you're not focused.
There you go. And I think you and I met each other. Well, I remember when we met each other, but it was way back in the day. And I think I met you when you were, handling and overseeing the Mecca days, right? Was that what is that? I think that's how far it was Mecca, right?
Yeah.
And then you went
it goes back when I first started. I started Mecca and created that, and then I met you and rocking and rolling with you. And then I remember I told you, I was telling you I'm leaving Mecca. And you're like, what do you mean you're leaving Mecca? And that's when I went to go start a Nietzsche.
Yep. You did a Nietzsche, and you've done a lot of brands. So out of all the brands that are currently on the table, I know you're working with AQ and T.I.'s camp and Hustle Gang and all those guys.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the priorities right now, which one is the top brass right now? So when you walk into your office every day in New York City, which one is the one that really Tony Shellman is really, given the proper, creative control about right now?
Well, we have we're fortunate. We have a great team for a Coup and Hustle Gang, and so that's my main focus is a Coup and Hustle Gang, and I have to really make sure that's balanced. But we have a great team as well handling the play clothes, which is wonderful. It's a smaller brand, it's a little more boutique-y play clothes. It's a little more exclusive, so we have a great crew handling that. But again, a Coup has just grown so fast and so big, and Hustle Gang is just growing just as fast. So I don't have a choice but to have to focus directly on those two brands.
Yep.
But again, like I said, I don't have to. I'm fortunate to have a lot of great players managing the separate pieces. So the guys that are running, the guys and the ladies that are running play clothes are doing a great job. The designer, the team, you have excellent team. So really, it's just I get to manage just like being, like if I'm managing a bunch of teams in the NBA. Some teams I need to give them more time at some time. So it counterbalances to your point. But I walk into my desk. I walk into my desk like at 8:00, and we don't get off the desk till like almost 8.
Yeah, no, you've always been.
That doesn't include it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include travel. Like we were just in 2 places at one time. We were just at Coachella. We were there for a whole bunch of time. That was great. We just got back from Coachella, and then we were also down in Atlanta doing another show down in Atlanta for Hustle Gang and a Coup. So, we're constantly moving, man. You know how that goes for us. Constantly on the road,
There you go. If you're just tuning into the big show right now, Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry back on the air in the captain's chair out here on the 33rd floor looking over downtown Bellevue here. And I've got my dear friend, a friend that's been around for many years, Tony Shellman, on the line with me, an iconic, well-respected, well-renowned fashion executive based in New York City, even though he comes out here every once in a while, but we definitely talk more than we see each other. With that being said, talk about, I know you definitely have a relationship with T.I. What's T.I. like to work with on the fashion side of the business when you and him and the crew are all talking about just kind of the new production runs and the new styles and everything emerging, on AQ?
Yeah, so for a Coup, it's really good. I mean, T.I. plays a good part of it. He's definitely there and definitely attentive to really things. You gotta remember, T.I.'s a fashion icon himself, so it's like he really gives a real balance and a true aspect to what the line looks like. Zach and Ralph are the creative designer. Ralph's the creative director for the company. Ralph's one of the owners. Zach's the designer. And, the synergy between the three of them is really great. That's what I love about it. Tip gives his input. Ralph and Zach really headed up with their great, wonderful team in VA in Virginia. And, you just have, again, the beauty is that you have, a bunch of different eyes working with the product. And these guys create this high-end fashion that's being able to translate in through the eyes of a Zach, a Ralph, and a T.I., which has been great. And then, like a silent partner, like a Jason Jeter, who is a pretty big music icon in the business himself, who at one point managed T.I. and, has done a bunch of brands like Shriver's Row, which is really hot. Rumor has it's on the way back. A lot of really great stuff going on. So the synergy for fashion, that's what makes the Coup so strong and the Hustle Gang so important, is the synergy of fashion, of being on the cutting edge, on the pulse, but not being so over the top where it's like, oh, you got to have this. It's like, oh, this is the hot stuff. And that's been the great synergy that these guys create. So for me, as a marketing, heading up the marketing piece of it and just being a part of the whole team, my job gets easier every day because the product that comes in is pretty amazing. So, it's great. We sell, like a lot of great stores out in the Northwest area we sell to. And it's just really fun and interesting. So, that's why I was like, when you were like, hey, definitely come and check out the show. I was like, oh, I'd love to be on the show. I had to cut a couple meetings to be on the show, but I'm on, baby. I made it.
I appreciate it, Tony. I know how busy you are. Hopefully, you can stick around with me for a few minutes here on there because there's a few more things I wanted to discuss. What right now with T.I.'s clothing brand, and with the current delivery that's out in stores right now, and it's all about how fashion moves so quickly. So there's always upcoming deliveries. What are some pieces that you're personally excited about that people really don't have the opportunity to see until it gets ultimately delivered into their boutiques and stores around the country and around the world?
Oh man, there's all kind of great pieces. The cool thing about the line, it has such amazing pieces. That's the thing about, like, we're not just making jeans and t-shirts. We have just our camel collection that's gonna come out. That's gonna be pretty great. The some of the track suits for spring, summer are just amazing. So those just came out. So it's just some of the jerseys, like from a soccer jersey. They're just different types of pieces that are coming out. Some of the jackets, lightweight nylon jackets, are coming out. So the whole thing is it's just definitely go to akubrand.com, hustlegangbrand.com. Definitely go and check out our IG. There's just all kind of stuff. There's constantly new product on there. Not only is there new product, but like some of the stores that we sell to, you'll see them posting about it. And we do a lot of online marketing, so it's a lot of great stuff to check. So my thing is that it's like T.I. Think about Tip. T.I. Working with him, he has his hand in a lot of it. So he really gets on and supports it, and he talks about it, and he just he lets us know when it's great, he lets us know when it's wacky. And the thing about Tip is, like, that same guy you see on his show, is the same guy that you talk to every day. He's that guy. Like, going out on tour with him has been crazy because we went out on tour with him last summer, and he stops and talks to everybody. I'm like, I'm gonna be tired as many people he talks to. Like, he takes a picture with everybody. So it's just a good guy, man. A great company to work for, man. These guys are pretty wonderful dudes, man. I love working with these guys, and we're just rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, T.I. was always a great artist to work with. All the years that he was at the former radio station for our Summer Jam Festival out there in Eastern Washington.
Yeah, remember that? He'd come out and kill it. You remember? You hooked me up with a bunch of tickets for that. That was crazy.
Yeah, he would. He was just one of those artists that he'd come out of the dressing room and he would take pictures and sign autographs with all the fans. And some artists, they agree to take like 3 or 4 pictures, and that's all they're going to do. But people like T.I., man, he's just all about that one-on-one fan base connection. And one of the best interviews that I ever had with T.I. was at one of the years down at the Grammys. And he saw me, and I was just getting ready to walk into his trailer backstage. And we spent like 45 minutes just doing a really amazing interview, T.I. and I, backstage at the Grammys one year. So he's an incredible guy. He gets the business. You never really have to worry about a big ego with him. And he's just, he's a down-to-earth type of cat.
That's why it's fun. Yeah, that's why it's fun to work with him. Like something special coming out that we have coming out in the spring of 19. We'll probably launch the promotional stuff around it. Is Ali collection. We're doing an Muhammad Ali collabo.
Nice.
It's gonna be in the movie. It's gonna be in the movie Creed. You'll see a couple pieces in the movie Creed. A bunch of pieces have been placed. So that's been great. We just did a shoe earlier this year. We did a shoe with Ewing. That Ewing shoe we did was
I saw that on IG. Yep, I saw that on IG.
Yeah, that was great. A lot of great blogs talked about it. We did a great event in New York. A great launch party in New York was pretty packed. Damn near 1,000 people came through. So it's been it's been a pretty amazing ride with these guys. And definitely, it's so funny because, like, a lot of people know me from the other brands, but, like, it's now that everybody's talking about, oh, Tony's from Seattle. I'm like, yeah, I'm from the 206, baby.
Always. Tony Shelman on the line with me, Studio 110.live. I'm only going to keep you on for a few more minutes. You mentioned that you were at Coachella. What was your favorite experience about being at Coachella this year? What did you really take in? What did you admire? What did you like? What you saw?
Yeah, no, I've done Coachella for a long time. I'm a solid 10 years in for Coachella, easy, 10 years plus. And Coachella, the original guy that owns Coachella, finally got some financing and some sponsors, some real sponsors, in for Coachella. So it was just an amazing experience. the activations were crazy. One of the best. It was pretty amazing. Absolute. Vodka did a pretty incredible activation. You know, we were out there with a bunch of our fans doing a documentary, working on some TI documentary type stuff, which was really cool. And just, you know, it's just amazing. You know, you say Coachella, you know, it's like, you know, it's more, it's not just a hip hop fan, it's a rock and roll fan, it's a techno fan, it's, you know, a series of different fans. It was just amazing how the minute I asked anybody about doing anything for TI, they're like, oh, TI, I'll do something. I'll do the camera. So it was pretty amazing that the brand of Coup was out there and a part of it. Our Hustle Gang brand was a part of it. So, you know, just to be a part of Coachella was pretty amazing. I mean, Eminem ripped it down. I was pretty impressed by Cardi B. A pregnant mom out there getting it in. She's such a, you know, she's such a professional and such a showman, or in this case, a show lady. Migos killed it. I mean, Haim, or Haim, I think it's Haim. They killed it. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, Beyonce ripped it down.
Yeah, that's yep.
I'm just waiting to see. I feel bad for Coachella because I don't think anybody's going to be able to. Next year, if you didn't go this year, I'm a little bummed out for you because next year, like, who's going to even be able to come close to performance?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of the audio. I didn't have an opportunity to go to it this year, but I've definitely been to it in past years.
Yeah, and I got one for you. You know, we have all the backstage, all the access passes, right? So looking forward, I wanted to watch the show, so I decided to get in the crowd. So I go out there early, and they let us go into the crowd early in the front, you know, like right in the front.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I almost got crushed to death, man. So many people, like they have it blocked off, and it's still like, it was just singer. And Beyonce is just she performed for 2.5 hours straight. I mean, I think I want to safely say she spent a total of maybe 10 minutes off the stage in total throughout the whole show.
Unbelievable. Because
she's in my top. She's safely in my top 5 entertainers.
Yeah, because I you know, just seeing the audio clips that I played on the air on my show here at Studio 110.live, Tony, I think definitely my top 2 were Eminem and Beyonce for sure.
Yeah, and Coachella was just such a beautiful audience. It's just really great people. You would think it's a little loose, but like it was just well managed. It was just I mean, the energy was so incredible, and the Coachella people themselves. Just the activation itself, the whole activation was just so well organized. You felt safe. I mean, I could literally just sit down in the grass and watch a show and go and sit in the Rose Garden area, go sit in the techno area. Like, I mean, like, it was crazy. Like one of my favorite performances, quite frankly, other than, you know, Beyonce, my man, you know, those guys killed it. Jamiroquai killed it.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a year. It was definitely a year to remember. What other just a few more things I want to touch here. Do you have a few minutes, or you're being pulled in a million directions right now, Tony?
No, I'm getting pulled in a million directions. I'll rock a few more minutes, and I got to jump off, baby.
No problem. We'll get you on again here soon. I wanted to ask just other brands right now that we're hearing about that are, you know, in the process of leveraging, or that are, you know, that are out currently right now on shelves around men's and women's boutiques.
I got one brand for you that you guys will be a fool if you don't already know about, which I know you do. But this brand is kicking ass. You got to go get yourself a spray ground bag, baby. Spray ground. It's the only way to go.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of it. Yep. And
so if you guys can go check your retailers. I mean, you know, shoot over to Zoomies. Zoomies has it. Go to PacSun. They have it. You got to get in there because they run out. I went to go buy my nephew a bag over at Zoomies the other day, and thank the Lord I know the guys that work there. But I was like, I'm in Seattle. I stopped in for I flew in because I was coming from LA. So I stopped in to bring him a bag, so I couldn't grab one in Seattle, so I went to Zoomies. I grabbed one from Zoomies. I literally went to South Center, got him a bag, went back to the airport, gave him the bag when I got to the airport, and went back to New York. And, you know, Zoomies had a great selection. So, yeah, definitely for all the great, wonderful people out there in Seattle on the radio, baby, listen, man, definitely go check out Zoomies. Amazing store. Love me some Zoomies. And definitely go check out Spray Ground at Zoomies, man.
And, you know Zoomies.
So, yeah, so that. Yep.
Zumi's corporate office is based out of here, and maybe you'll remember to give me a call next time you're in town, so we can actually, see each other for once. So.
If I see you, bro, I'm making you take me to lunch, bro. It's hard to get you out that office. You're always in the office, or you're doing some fancy interview with somebody, with some celebrity. So it's hard to get you out the office sometimes, baby.
I know, but I'll always make time for a fashion executive like you, the king of New York. And, I as well as I know you, and I know you know this about yourself, I won't be surprised, in the near future if I'm looking through the trades and reading through the magazines and all over social networking that the iconic Tony Shellman teams up with, Cardi B and Migos to help, to help continue revamp their brand.
You never know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. I miss the town, man. I love my town, man. So, again, none of this would be even remotely going on for me if it wasn't for the Seattle home team. I said, it's just bottom line. I love the home team, so I love my people in Seattle, baby. Seattle for life. Let's go.
Do you still have your beautiful home here on the lake, or did that get sold because now you're full time in New York? Do you still keep the?
Oh, of course I got my lake. I got my lake house. I thank the Lord the hedges have grown, so people don't keep on trying to come to my house for fashion tips. That's my favorite one. I get people at my door for fashion tips, and I'm never there. And my housekeeper's like, he's not here today. I live in New York.
Well, definitely.
That's it, man.
Thanks for coming on with me, Tony. I want to get you in the studio here soon. Next time you're out here in the Pacific Northwest, and until then, we'll make a time to get you back on and get some updates on within everything going on within the fashion business. Talk about your kind of daily routine, and thank you again, man, for coming on the air with me today.
You know the rules, baby. Mazel. Talk to you later, baby.
Thank you, Tony. Tony Shellman, a long dear friend. Boy, Tony and I have known each other for, 15, maybe 20 years. We've known each other a long time, and he's just he's what you call an icon in the fashion business. Every single artist knows about Tony Shelman, and you heard that he's got 3 top brands right now on his desk, on his platform in New York City. And I won't be surprised if Cardi B and Migos reach out to Tony and want Tony to kind of ultimately take them under his umbrella to be able to put because she's got a new brand out. Cardi B's got a fairly new clothing brand out, and these people need a guy like Tony Shelman to bring his nuts and bolts into place to just to make it pop harder than ever. So it's always good to have my guy from New York, Tony Shelman, the icon that he is. Thank you again for coming on with me. He had to move a couple meetings around to be on the air with me today, but that just shows you, and I've talked about this for many weeks now. That just goes to show you how relationships work. In any business setting that you're in today, if it's fashion, music, whatever business that you're in, when you call your boy up, just before you go on the air, and he says to you, "Hey, Dirty Harry, anything for you, bro? I got you," and stays on with me for damn near 25 minutes, that's a real friend. That's what friends do for one another. And he's also been one of those guys that anytime I need product, if I've got events coming up and I want product from either one of his collections, one of his brands, or another brand, it's one phone call. So blessed to have friends like Tony Shelman. And speaking of brands here locally, Lala from the Euphoria clothing brand has worked very well with Tony Shelman and his team out there in New York. So he's definitely opened up a lot of doors for people on the West Coast. And, he's always like, Tony's always up to something, he just, how many people do you know that are, backstage at Coachella, on the stage at Coachella, doing everything that they're doing and, surrounding themselves with artists like Eminem and Beyonce and Jay-Z. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So thank you again to Tony Shelman. All right, moving along here. Let's give a shout out to our boys here, part of our team here in the office at Studio 110.live. We got the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy going down. That's June 30th at the Shower Center in Kent. We got Bill Bellamy coming, D-Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho. Tickets are on sale right now. All the details that you need to know about the tickets, just hit up the Shower Center. You can call them. You can hit up their email. You can hit up their website. You can do whatever you got to do to be able to come out and support our amazing Comedy Jam event. Once again, we got Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho. Man, it's going to be a great event. Who doesn't want to go to a fun comedy show? I mean, our lives are already stressful enough, whether we're in dysfunctional relationships, whether we hate our bosses, whether the car broke down, and the mechanics estimates on getting the car retuned up just ain't cutting it. Sometimes we just got to decompress a little bit and surround ourselves with good people, like good comedians, and laugh and have a good time. So like I said, hit up their website, go to the box office, call them, do whatever you got to do to come out and support the team here with us at Studio110.live. Laugh your ass off with icons of comedy: Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho. It's going down June 30th. Super, super excited about that event. And what other priorities do we have today to talk about? We got a couple guests here that have just walked into to my studio that I'm excited about to do an interview. We got them. I know we have a model, known figure coming up later in the show. And I want to talk to my show producer and assistant to see how the big launch party is coming into effect. In fact, Erica, if you can come over here real quick on this mic before I transition to my next in-studio guest, and you know the recipe better than anybody, how people can be purchasing the last remaining tickets for the big event taking place this coming Saturday night right here at Studio110.live's headquarters. So if you can let everybody know where they need to go, and I know there's only a few left, so I wouldn't want to ignore this and not to give people the opportunity to come out and support and see the surprise guests that are coming. And so the floor is yours to be able to give me the recipe that people need to be purchasing these last minute tickets. And it's a great charity. It's a great cause. And that's really what I want to focus on right now. We're teaming up with a great organization where we're really helping people. And that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about right here at Studio110.live. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. till 11:30 p.m., we are hosting and we are throwing the official Studio 110 launch party. So we are incorporating everything from tech, where people are actually going to be able to try on the VR character that was built and modified by the the host of Glitched and the co-host of Glitched. They built it out for us, so people will literally be able to be VR Dirty Harry. It's going to be sick. And then we have a fashion show going on. So the fashion designers incorporated in that will kind of, promote their lines through that. We've got about 3 different designers. And then we've also got the High Children performing, so they will be a live performance by them featuring their new single. And obviously, they're just super talented, so we're really excited to be able to include them in this. And our charity, I just want to tell you a little bit about the charity. So a lot of opportunities are not just given to people, right? Like, you either get lucky in kind of the show business or in the media industry, or something kind of just welcomes you into the opportunity, or you're lucky, basically. So Channel ATV, they do kind of a focused event, and they do a focused charity where it's called We Day, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're promoting We Day and also the entire charity, but they've worked with everybody from literally Obama to Oprah Winfrey to Russell Wilson to Selena Gomez. I mean, this charity and Channel ATV has worked with everybody. So We Day is focused strictly on kids and youth and young adults who really want to expand their education, and they want to be able to build out a platform for, their future in media.
Yep.
And so what Channel ATV has done is they've provided these tools and the education and the mentorship to be able to have these kids who are underprivileged, or, a lot of them are, they don't have the structured kind of, they don't have the backgrounds, or they don't really have the opportunities to have, these influences and stuff like that.
These types of resources to be able to really,
these type of resources, exactly.
To ultimately pick them up and give them an opportunity, because everybody knows at the end of the day, the music business is a extremely competitive, hard business to get into, and it's unfortunate, but this is the reality of really the game. Is it's who you know at the end of the day, and who's going to believe in you, and who's going to create that pathway to open up those new channeling effects to make the proper introductions to get you to ultimately where you want to be. So I completely get it. So
yeah, and we're also going to have a few students that are going to be at the event as well, kind of speaking on behalf of how the charity has really impacted their lives, and what it's done to help them progress in their careers for media. So it's going to be a really awesome event, and we're also going to be showcasing our new commercial for Studio 110.
Awesome.
And then DJ Penthouse, the DJ duo, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be a whole dance floor extravaganza. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be dancing and I just can't stop. So yeah, you can purchase tickets at eventbrite.com/Studio 110 official launch party. So that is a public event now. We decided to open it up to the public. We actually had it private. And then Dirty Hair was like, I want everybody to be a part of this. I want everybody to be able to get the opportunity to be a part of the launch and the success and just overall the charity benefits and being a part of this, because it's so amazing. So that's kind of what we're overall doing, and you can get tickets there. I would suggest getting them soon because we literally just opened it up to the public, and we've got limited tickets left, and they're selling like crazy, considering now we're having celebrities and stuff like that promoting that they're going to be coming to the event. So now that that's in places, our tickets are about to be sold out probably about tomorrow, I'd say.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Eric, and stay on with me here for a minute. But I wanted to kind of explain a couple other things here for a moment. When the team asked me ultimately, how much should we charge for these tickets? I said, you know what, we're going to charge $30, and let's just, I'm not really a materialistic type of guy at the end of the day, but for $30, let me tell you, what they're getting. They're getting a fully catered meal. They're getting drinks. They're getting, and placed in front of some of the biggest DJs emerging here from the Northwest. They're going to be around surprise guests. But putting all those things aside, there's, the high children, my guys, the group that I manage here, Jason and Jamal, putting all those things aside for a minute. At the end of the day, I care about the charity. I care about, DC and the partnership that we're developing and the proper traction in place with him and allowing these kids, wherever they are, a lot of them are here, a lot of them are national, and even some are international, the opportunity to be able to fulfill their dreams. And that's what's important to me. So I get at the end of the day, it's my official launch party for my show. And I'm excited about that. We're going to have over 200 people in here. It's going to be a great event. But when we have an opportunity to really highlight a partnership like Erica just talked about here from making this, about community awareness and allowing people to really have their dreams come true to a degree, that's the business that I'm in. So
absolutely. Actually, DC will be calling in a few minutes. Okay. He just wants to talk on behalf of the charity and kind of how they're collaborating with us and working with us. Good. So
I want to thank in fact he's calling right now. So just stay on here with me 1 second and we'll go. Do I got DC here on the line with me?
All right.
DC, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling in. I've got my show producer and assistant Erica on the line with us as well. And I've got, of course, my in-studio guests that I'm going to get to here in a few moments. But it was really important that I told my producer Erica that I wanted you to call in because, like I just said a few minutes ago, DC, when my team asked me ultimately, how much we needed to really charge for these tickets for this big launch party, I said, what? I said, we're going to charge $30. We could have charged a lot more and gotten, and had people, of course, line up and support us and sell the thing out. That's not what it was about to me. It wasn't about the drinks. It wasn't about the catering. It wasn't about the DJs, the surprise guests, the overall atmosphere, the vibes, everything going into play for the big launch party. It was about the partnership with you, man, and what you bring to the table, and the depth that it speaks and reaches for these kids to be able to have an opportunity to meet, someone like myself, someone like you, other people around the community that can really open up proper doors for them, create new platforms and new arenas. And I want you to kind of pick up from where I just left off, man. And I want to hear more about the charity. And I'm super excited, man, to meet these kids that you're going to be bringing.
Well, yeah, thank you. Very, very well said, actually. I am very, very excited to partner with Studio 110. Our foundation is we can't wait. When I share the news with the kids and just your reputation in the community, your hard work and everything, so you're someone that they look up to. So when this opportunity came up, they couldn't pass on it. So one of the things that we like in the community is mentorship. So when people think about media, um, it, most of the times, I'll give you an example. When you look at people that you see on TV, if they are like analysts, sports analysts, more than half the times they used to be football players or soccer players or whatever you.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if we had a platform such as Studio 110 where people can, students can actually come and practice while they're still in college or high school, and really perfect their skills before they finish even their education. So that's the experience that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And there are not too many platforms in the community that offer what Studio 110 or Channel ATV will be offering. So we're really, really excited to share with the community what's going to come out of this. We've had the opportunity to take some of these kids live on the field when the Seahawks are playing or when the Sounders are playing. So it's a different experience, and they go back to their colleges and share their experiences, and that becomes a motivation to do, to keep moving forward, because it just doesn't happen. Unfortunately, we need a lot more advocacy, through radio,
Yep.
through
Yep.
podcasts such
Yep.
as this platform. So we're really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more excited, honestly, DC, to team up with you. I've known you for a long time, and you and I definitely have a good relationship. We met each other at the previous radio station on the Summer Jam.
That's right.
Backstage experiences. And, one thing that I definitely want to throw out there, and I know I'll have the opportunity to have some one-on-one time, with the guests, with these kids that you're going to be bringing into place for the big Studio 110 live launch event this coming Saturday. Is I'm gonna, and Erica, my producer and assistant, doesn't even know this yet, but I'm gonna put it out there right now that next week, I know we have busy shows next week, but whenever we can have some time open, and even if I have to stay on the air longer one day, I would like as many kids as you would like to bring down to my studio here, and I will allow them. I will allow them the opportunity to come into the studio, watch a show. I'll put them on the air. I'll do a little interview with them, and I'm completely 100% committed to that. And I'll even do it every week, man. I'll even if I have to stay on another half hour each week, I'll totally do that. So.
Yeah, and that's what I've had the opportunity to work with you for a long time, like you said, and people hear your voice on the radio. They don't have the opportunity to be with you one-on-one and learn from you. So the passion that you have for what you do and the commitment speaks for itself, and that's the number one thing. So we try to train these kids that when you start working on something, whether you're in front of the camera or you are behind the microphone, you have to have a passion that's beyond what people expect, because it's not always about the money. It's not always about the cool weather, because sometimes you're going to be in the rain and you're going to be on the field running around and doing what you need to do. That's part of the game. Sometimes you're not going to be in favorable places, and sometimes the conditions are not exactly the way you want them to be, but if you have the passion, you're going to keep going. So having the opportunity where they can come into the radio station live, your adrenaline's pumping, you have guests that you adore, and then you see them in front of you. Sometimes people freak out, and so that experience is obviously needed. I mean, you've been working on the radio stations for how long? How many years now, Terry?
I was with Cube Radio for 19 years of my life. Prior to Cube, I represented Def Jam Records, under Russell Simmons and Leroy Cohen. That was 2 years, and then before that, I was with Nasty Ness Rodriguez at Nasty Mix Records. And then after I left the radio station, did a bunch of consulting work with and project management and event planning for a lot of local brands here, and now I'm back on there doing what I do the best. So I would say, if you're asking me the amount of years, that I've been in the the music business here, it's 22, 23, 24 years. So
right. Yeah, so but a lot of things that you just mentioned that people don't think about. Of course, you talked about the passion, but it's also about branding too, because some of these kids, they don't know that right in their bedrooms they have a phone. They can use that phone to create different things, using technology as a platform, can move them from one level to another. But you still need that same commitment that you're going to have when you're working in the industry, because you still have to be on social media. You still have to push your brand. You still have to know what language to use. And you have to remember that, wherever you are, you're representing yourself and you're representing your brand. Such as if you're a student, what you speak about, your values, your morals, everything has to come together. And so having a mentorship from you and Erica and everybody else, that's just it's going to be a plus for the kids. And even the instructors are really, really excited. So, and by the way, I don't know whether you shared with your followers, we're going to have some of the students live at the party this Saturday.
Yep,
so people will be able to,
I've been told that,
hear from their stories. Yeah. So that we're really excited about that.
So if you're just tuning into the big show right now, Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry here. I got my show producer and assistant Erica. Of course, I've got my upcoming in-studio guests here from Molly's Products. We'll be talking about, we're going to be doing our first food segment with my in-studio guest here coming up in a few minutes. But going back to DC here for a second, you're a prime true example, DC, of how to properly put relationships into place, and you get it. And one thing that I really admired that I saw, that I was so impressed by, and the reason I continue to bring this up to you, DC, is just about your relationship with our buddy from the movie Black Panther. And,
right.
and if you don't mind, do you mind just kind of sharing that story again? Because it was such an iconic international, major, large movie. And, with that being said, you had the opportunity to just so organically, meet one of the stars in the movie, and he flew out here, and you guys went, and, you guys met with governors, and you went and met, you went to the Capitol. And just talk about real quick how that came into place, because that really kind of, coincides honestly with the launch party this Saturday, just in terms of how you mesh and you gel proper relationships in together.
So that's why mentorship, again, it comes back to learning from people who've been there. Because what you learn in school is incredible. You learn the technical language and everything else, but then creating a relationship, with the person next to you is another. So that's how we networked with people from, obviously Black Panther. It was a question of just knowing people that are mutual friends, and then you build a relationship, moving forward. The next thing you know, they are at the location where you are, So Black Panther was just more than just a movie. It created hope. It created opportunities for people who feel like sometimes they don't have, the opportunity to move forward, or they don't have the resources to move forward. But you can really use everything that you have in your home, at school, at your workplace, and just use a platform to move forward. So it was really interesting to get a chance to work with one of the cast from the movie. We flew in back in Seattle, and we went to Urban Fashion Week, of which, Harry, you were there. That was uplifting, very uplifting. And we took time to go to Highland College and spoke with about maybe 50 students. Then we went all the way down to Olympia. Matter of fact, at that time, the senators were gracious enough to bring us down on the floor to where we spoke with a lot of different senators and congressmen, because they were talking about gun control in education, in schools. In schools. So at that point, that was a moment of realization for him, that everything that you do transcends your beliefs. So it comes back to being committed to what you do and moving forward. I'll give you an example. I have a daughter who's 13 years old, right? And since she was born, she watches everything that we do in the community. And so she just picked it up. She picked up the media skills and, doing interviews on the red carpet. And I'm proud to say just last week, actually, I just came back on Monday from LA. We covered We Day, and she was able to interview about maybe 20 different celebrities, including Henry Winkler. I think it was a bunch of different celebrities, and I was watching to see how she was going to react with meeting all these big time celebrities like Giorgio Siwa. It was easy, and some of these celebrities, I don't know them because they're younger, but she did a lot of research. Of course, the ones that she sees on TV or movies, it was easy. But it comes down to commitment, because as you work, you are an example to the person next to you, and that transcends who you are as a person, and it moves on to your family and friends. So we're really, really excited for the opportunity, Harry. We're really, really excited.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about this partnership, and I like to introduce my team, accordingly and properly here. And DC, you've been on with me now once previous. You've been in the studio a lot, coming in and capturing a lot of the guests. Thank you for for the TV spot that you're going to be debuting here for the big show at the event. And for everybody out there that wants to know, when you start watching and seeing us, myself and my producer, out broadcasting at red carpet events like the Grammys and the Billboard Music Awards and all these big events that are happening in Los Angeles and Miami and New York and all over the country. DC is really one of my main guys that I go to, and I say, hey, we need a couple credentials, we need a couple red carpet passes to be able to broadcast the show, and it's just it just goes back to the relationship again. How you just don't you don't burn bridges, especially in this business, because you won't get too far. I mean, that's for any business, but especially in the music business. So
it's a very small industry, and you can tell, whether you're an artist or an athlete, everybody connects. Everybody connects, and Seattle is so small that everybody knows everybody. So you have to sustain, your relationships, nurture them, and keep it moving. And that's how we grow. We're really excited. Did you share with your audience that Studio 110 will probably be live from BET Awards and MTV Awards this year? Did you share with your audience?
I have not. I was actually going to wait for you to make that announcement. But the floor is yours. So if you want to make that announcement, my friend DC, go ahead and make that announcement right now.
Okay. So I think for some of the followers who follow us already, they might know that we have the privilege to be in all these cool places.
Yeah.
And partnering with Studio 110, it just brings a whole different dynamic to the radio presence, because people need that information. People don't need to be told. People need to hear first-hand information from what's happening, what's carrying, and your experience and the whole team being live on different locations, whether it's Super Bowl or MTV Awards or BET Awards. I think that's going to be an icing on the cake, So we're really excited as the studio presence grows. Then we create all these portable radio stations where you can move from one place to another. That's a brilliant idea. So I'm really, really excited to incorporate, what we're doing with you. And of course, the students will get the experience of being a part of that story too, and they're part of the journey. The growth, Studio 110 grows, and more people, new ideas, and so that's really exciting.
Yeah,
so we can't wait.
I'm super excited. I've had the opportunity for many years to broadcast down at the Grammys on the red carpet, and I cover the Billboard Music Awards every year, the Video Music Awards, and the BET Awards. And speaking of the BET Awards, I think I have a lot of great stories and a lot of great memories.
Yeah.
But one great memory that I have being backstage broadcasting from the BET Awards a couple of years ago was I got a tap on my shoulder, and I'm just kind of like by all the the trailers in the backstage arena. Down there in Los Angeles, I get a tap on my shoulder, and I'm looking back, and it's Floyd Mayweather, and he says, "Hey, I got my boy 50 Cent on the phone. Do you live in L.A.? Can you help him get to this backstage entrance?" And I said, "Floyd, I'm a Seattle-based radio host, and I don't know the roads all that well, but I took it upon myself. I said, hey, 50, let me go talk to the security guys real quick at the gate." So I put 50 on the phone with some of the security guys, and we got. I can always say that I didn't get 50 lost worse. I got him. I got him ultimately to where he needed to get to. All thanks to Floyd Mayweather. So.
Wow, that's quite a story, But so those are some of the stories that people don't see about the industry, because there's so many moving parts, so much that when you show up, at an event. I'll give you an example. If you're on the field during a game, like the Seahawks are playing, another team. If you look around the stadium, or not even on the stadium, but on the field, there are so many people lined up, pretty much covering the whole ground, the whole field. The reason it's like that is because everybody's playing a different role, and everybody's a professional and sticking to what they do. If you remove any one of those components, then the show won't be successful. So what you shared with us, people getting lost and people trying to find the place where they can plug in the microphone, or the place where they can plug in, the sound. It's also part of the experience.
Sure.
And
Sure.
it comes back to preparations, and people want to know, what Dirty Harry does before he goes live on air. What do you do? Do you pray? Do you drink water? Do you have rituals? And it's really interesting, because there's no answer to one thing, but it's all about what you can do.
Absolutely, DC. And I think my producer and assistant instructed me that you'll be in the studio with me tomorrow. Is that correct? We're going to have you in the studio.
Sir.
Great. So we'll have you in the studio tomorrow.
I'll be there with a few students. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So we're looking forward for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the time. I know you guys are busy on trying to squeeze in everybody at the same time. But, again, now to your listeners and everybody else out there, if you have the opportunity to come and hang out with us at Studio 110 this weekend, I think that'll be very, very uplifting. So you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a chance to give back to charity. You're going to have a chance to network with people in the industry. So that's really, really exciting. We can't wait.
Well, I can't thank you enough for the partnership, DC, and everything that you do here for me, for my show at Studio 110 and the whole crew here working at Studio 110.live. And super excited about what the future has and hold for you and I. And I'm super excited. And thank you again for coming on board and coming on the air with me this afternoon to talk about just this amazing partnership in line in conjunction with the big old launch party event taking place this Saturday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Erica, for the opportunity, and thank you, everybody listening. And we appreciate you. Hopefully, they can follow Studio 110 and keep listening and keep watching as we go. So, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
We're definitely growing nicely, and we're and DC, you're a big part of that, and the whole team here. So I look forward to having you on the air with me tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was DC here calling me from probably one of his offices around the city. Just a well-respected TV executive, and he's got a whole bucket list of things that he accomplishes. Before I transition here to my in-studio guests that have been waiting so patiently, I know they were on deck for 2:00, but I said, hey, let's bring them in a little bit earlier. So technically, I'm not being rude because I still have 9 minutes, and in these 9 minutes, an interesting story being provided to me here from my friends at good old TMZ. So you guys ready for this? Anytime, I've always been a fan to a degree, even though we've had a couple, not the happiest experiences, but Kanye West has come out to say, I love Donald Trump. Now, I don't usually get political on the show, nor do I, I'm going to be planning on doing more of these types of stories, but I thought, it would be a good story to talk about today. So once again, Kanye West, I love Trump. He's my brother. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Kanye West doesn't care what mob mentality says. He just loves President Trump, even though he doesn't agree with all of his politics. Kanye declared his overall thought process to Trump's dragon energy in response to DJ Ebro saying Kanye had confessed to loving Trump. As you know, Kanye is not one to run from controversy. We all know that. And instead, he fully, ultimately leaned into POTUS saying, you don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love what he's doing. We're both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does, but Donald Trump really is my brother. Kanye added he's got love for Hillary Clinton too. Okay, that's nice. So he's pretty much probably likes everybody. He also went on to say, if your friend jumps off a bridge, you don't have to do the same. Kanye being Kanye is really, at the end of the day, a fight for you to be really who you are. For people in my life, the idea of Trump is pretty much a 50-50 split, but I don't tell a Hillary supporter not to support Hillary. I love Hillary too. We have to remember, some time ago, he did publicly embrace Trump right after his election and wanted to go actually visit Trump at Trump Tower. So that is definitely an interesting story to be talking about today on the big show here at Studio 110.live. And we'll see, maybe other artists now will be following Kanye's footsteps. It'll be interesting because he's usually, he's just all about he's all about being, the center of attention, like he should be. I mean, that probably, makes him sleep easier at night. And being in the spotlight and just, having one of the biggest egos that you can literally be graced with. I had a interesting experience with Kanye West some time ago, a couple of years back, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was in the studio, and we were doing an interview, and talked about the story a few times, but since we're talking about Kanye West, I can't not say it. So in the studio, and I say, Kanye, welcome to Seattle. What do you think of Seattle? So just kind of a long, pregnant pause. And he says, Dirty Harry? I said, yeah. He says, the only thing going through my mind right now is styling all 5 of my Victorian-style mansions down in Miami. And I knew damn well that there weren't 5 mansions in Miami. I knew that. On a good day, maybe there was 1. And, that house may, not even, been a purchase house. May have been just, he may have been renting it or whatever it is. And it just got so out of hand. From there, it just got worse and worse and worse. And he wanted me to play an unedited track on the air. And he had no conception or idea that, you have 18-second time delays where, if you play a song, he wanted to kind of bleep it with his mouth as the song, came into curve. And I said, that just won't be happening. So it got out of hand, and I came real close to kicking him out of the studio. But I said, this guy may not be as bad as the ego is presenting him to be at the end of the day. So that's just one story that I have from Kanye West. And I've seen him a few times since, and he actually still remembers that interview. And we tend to laugh about it more, even though I definitely wasn't laughing the day that went down. Because, it's like you would think, you don't want to kind of, resemble that type of, pattern and that type of overall just kind of brand, in conjunction with who he is, and just wasn't really a good look overall. So hopefully he continues to improve. And it's definitely interesting that he's refers to President Donald Trump as his brother. So we'll see. Maybe, he'll be on Air Force One of these days, and they'll be, playing golf down at, Trump's summer house down there, and that'll be the day. That'll actually be the day that I see Kanye West on the golf cart driving around the golf course with President Trump. That'll be the day, and I can't wait to be able to talk about that. All right. With that being said, let's go from Kanye West saying that he's Donald Trump's brother to our first official food segment of the big show here at Studio 110.live. And I kind of want to open up this segment by highlighting a few things. We all know that there's, plenty of destinations to go to, especially where we broadcast the big show from in downtown Bellevue here. There's plenty of arenas to be able to have, a good lunch. And, I'm just one of those guys, I try to be consistent, and I know what I like. And I've just really I've fallen in love with a peanut butter jelly sandwich of all things. And I met this guy here who happens to be one of my in-studio guests. If you guys want to come close to the mics here, welcome to the big show here. I've got my friends here from Molly's Products. And like I was saying, I mean, I every day pretty much for the last, maybe 2 weeks. And, look, I could be changing it up. There's a great salad place over here, and there's places over here. And, we all have plenty of, I could be bringing food in from the house. I could be doing a million things. But it's just, something about this peanut butter jelly sandwich, guys, that I do like. So I told my show producer to get in contact with you guys because I want to transition the show into more food these days. I mean, we do music, we do fashion, we do nightlife, we do pop culture, we do tech. We've got great guests in here from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Macklemore coming in to the biggest artist, Huey P, to big time. Today I kicked it off with my boy Tony Shellman, a big iconic fashion guy, executive who oversees T.I.'s clothing brand, BBC. He kicked it off with me. So I'm designing the show, and I kicked the show off to be able to reach all avenues and streams. And food is definitely something that's a huge daily part of our life. And so with that being said, welcome to my show, you two. Thanks for coming in today. I appreciate you guys coming in. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys by you guys sitting in here for the last half hour and watch the magic that happens here in the studio here at Studio 110.live.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. So introduce yourself here for me.
I'm Summer Wetta, and I'm with Customer Experience
with
Molly's.
Great.
I'm Jesse.
If you want to come a little closer to the mic.
Oh, my name is Jesse. Okay. I'm actually in distribution and also now marketing with Molly's.
Great. And you and I happened to meet each other. It was a couple weeks ago. We have one of our establishments here down at the building here at Studio 110.live's headquarters is a coffee venue called Trophy, and you guys have a very nice arrangement on the shelf there. And great options. You guys have salads in there. You have sandwiches in there. You have pasta dishes, and you have a great whole row of wonderful illustrated top-notch food, and this is something about this peanut butter jelly sandwich at the end of the day. So with that being said, I want to kind of get into you guys both represent Molly's products.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about Molly's products. I'm sure there's more products than I've seen at the establishment that I go to every day down here at Trophies. So when did Molly's officially kick off here in the Northwest?
We started in 2009.
Okay.
And it was a really small operation. Our founder, Stefan, had his girlfriend was working at Microsoft, and she was making her own salads.
Okay.
And people requested that she make more for them. And he said, aha, I think this is a business idea. And so from there, he decided to make these prepackaged grab-and-go salads. There was nothing on the market at the time, and named the company after her. And fast forward to 2018, we now have 31 menu items.
Wow.
And we hand produce all of our menu items 6 days a week, and we do our own distribution.
That's amazing. And you know what's exciting to me about what you just said is it's another Northwest-based company that had a vision, that had a platform, and started where you guys started, and look where you guys are at now. I mean, so for all the people out there that are trying to kick off a new business or building up a new platform, and they're frustrated that they don't think they'll be able to ultimately get from A to Z at the end of the day, this is a true testament. This is a true testimonial that it can happen.
Yes.
That it can definitely happen. So let's talk about our individual roles. I know we just touched on them a little while ago, but what is your day in and day out, Monday through Friday, in terms of what you provide for the company overall?
Every day is different, but primarily I help our customers with their menu choices. I provide marketing support where I go out and I do sampling to their customers, and I just try to make sure that everybody's happy.
And what is your favorite item on the menu? What is your refrigerator at your house packed with?
Ooh, the Grecian salad, which is an orzo salad with spinach.
Okay.
And it's also pre-dressed, so you just mix it together. And then our newest item is the chicken curry on croissant, and that is amazing.
Was that the sandwich that you and I were talking about, or that was the hoagie that you guys had a hoagie that you were talking about transforming into?
Well, it was that style, that chicken curry sandwich that we showed you had. It was pretty beefy as far as as far as the whole sandwich goes.
Right.
And now that we went to the actual the butter style bun, right?
Well, it's a croissant.
Right? I love croissants. Yeah, love croissants.
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's got elegance, and it's got taste, it's got style, and it's a little bit less on the carbs. So of course, the Northwest loves that a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
we're a very health conscious city out here in the Northwest. What is your favorite item to indulge in, whether you're at the office or taking food home? Because I'm sure that's one of the perks to the job, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's required. You got to eat the food.
So is the company pretty open to employees just saying, I want a couple sandwiches, having a girls' night out at the house tonight, or whatever the case may be, and you want your friends to that's product placement. I mean, that's product placement at its best.
Yeah, we're empower our drivers and our team to be innovative with how they use the food.
So what would you say is your? I know you just. What's the top three? You just told me you liked was it the chicken a salad you just mentioned?
It's the chicken curry on croissant.
Okay.
The Grecian salad, which is with orzo, and then our wrap. My favorite is a toss-up between the El Compadre and the Field Roast breakfast wrap. And they're both using Chipotle Field Roast inside, which is a Seattle-based company.
I love Field Roast. I make sandwiches all the time with Field Roast. It's because I don't eat a lot of meat personally, so I love Field Roast. And they make, there's a couple different versions. You can cut them up like a classic salami.
Yep.
And then they have like the veggie dogs kind of, which I absolutely love. And those things are just packed with protein. If you eat two of those at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you don't need to eat anything else for the rest of the night.
That's true.
So it's good to know that you guys are teaming up with Field Roast. I don't know if I've seen those exact products in line downstairs here where we broadcast from, Studio 110 at Trophy. But I'll look forward to, if I ever can have the opportunity to try a salad with Field Roast, all about it. Now, you, my friend, if you can talk about Oh, there you go.
You're in luck. We brought some with.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. What a nice surprise. And I'm actually getting hungry. So at 3:00 I will indulge in that. In the meantime, talk about just kind of your roles here in terms of your everyday requirements that you continue to do for this amazing Northwest company.
Well, Molly's is actually lucky enough to have a great team of drivers and a distribution team, actually.
You can come a little closer to the mic, sir.
Yep. So what we do is basically we're the early risers, and we head out early. Basically the whole idea is to get production done as fast and efficient as possible, of course. And then using algorithms, sales numbers. I mean, it could be anything really to perfect it. So then eventually that turned into, a marketing thing that I wanted to get into with Molly's. And so just initially now we're actually talking about doing that. This being one of the very first things in action since Summer and I here teamed up. It's been great so far. And so we're really excited. And I love, honestly, the love for the company comes from so many different angles that I've had experience in so many things. And once I found out that Molly's was like my home,
yep,
it's just become even better and better since.
That's great. That's absolutely great. Where's the actual product assembled? Where's it packaged? Where's the home front? Where's home base every day?
We're in South Park, Seattle.
Oh, South Park. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I never would have guessed that, but that's a good area. So just talk about, kind of paint me the picture. How many people are in the kitchen every day working to assemble all the fine ingredients and fine platforms that Molly's Products puts out to all over the city?
Okay. Well, we have 2 locations. So we produce in Seattle and we produce out of Portland.
Okay.
In all, we have about 50 people that work for our team.
Wow.
The biggest teams are the production team.
Okay.
So any day we have 20 to 30 people producing food.
Okay.
And it's pretty much an all-day activity.
Sure.
Once they're done, we have our packers come in, they pack the food, and then by that time the drivers come in and that food is out and on the road.
That's great.
And on shelves.
And just because I know you wear a lot of hats and you have a lot of missions that you have to cover, but just kind of like when you kick off your day, like how many stops are you making? How many people do you have to? Because it must feel good at the end of the day that you have one of those rewarding jobs that if you're not there, and and I'm not joking about this. I'm really not joking about this. Like there have been days, just because people know how damn good these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are, and some days that people get to them before I do, and then I have to go and plan B. I got to fulfill the needs other ways. Whether going and getting a salad at the salad spot or getting another sandwich or whatever it is. So it must feel good and a rewarding feeling to know that you really are putting smiles on people's faces.
It really does. Yeah, and again, coming back to what made me want to stay so bad, was exactly that. Actually, no joke, I have peanut butter and jelly breath right now. I ate one in the car on the way here. So
yeah.
I'm a huge fan. The same, so simple, and the thing about not having things like preservatives and things like,
right.
It's changed my diet totally.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm somewhat health conscious.
And I am too.
Wow. I mean, it just has changed my life as far as, diet goes and everything like that. So, but the biggest part about being in distribution as far as that goes is the community outreach that you get to do as far as, we get about 20 stops tops, for maximum route.
Okay.
And that's a lot, especially when you're, we go all the way up to Bellingham, actually, I believe, right?
Arlington, but
Arlington.
it's about Bellingham.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Close enough. Yeah.
I'm from California, still learning.
Same vicinity.
There you go.
Yeah.
But being able to branch out so far and reach so many different stomachs, it's great to know. Especially when just the PB&J can get us on a radio show.
Yeah, and it did, right? I mean, it did. And just for other other brands out there, other food arenas out there that will also have the opportunity to have in the studio. I mean, it's a true testimonial in itself. I mean, started enjoying a peanut and butter jelly sandwich, and I told my producer Erica, let's get these guys in. And what do you know? A couple weeks later, we're all in it together here. What would you say? And you guys will probably have separate opinions ultimately on this, but out of all the menu items that you guys have, what is really the top seller?
Ooh, the lumberjack breakfast sandwich, the Freebird sandwich, which is a turkey sandwich, and either the El Compadre wrap or the Hangry Vegan wrap.
Hangry, you said hangry?
Hangry Vegan.
I like the name, Hangry Vegan. So what's on the good old Hangry Vegan wrap?
It is a tofu with peanut sauce, cabbage, and it's wrapped in a really delicious tortilla.
Oh, you got me sold, because I love tofu. One of my favorite restaurants is the good old classic Bamboo Garden. For everybody listening, not in the city that we broadcast from, it's definitely high up on the ranks for me. It's I definitely try to support those guys as often as I can. I've been going there for years. I've been going there for many years, and it's just all, it's always consistent. It's like you guys. I mean, it's always consistent. And when you have that, when you have that desire that you want to go and have, a great tofu vegetarian Chinese dinner or lunch, that's where you go. When you want to have the best peanut butter jelly sandwich literally in the city under God's given green earth, you support Molly's products. I mean, that's just what we do. That's what we do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what we do. So, with that being said, I mean, we all probably have our own favorite spots that we like to go and frequent and support at the end of the day. But it's like I said, it's great to have you guys in the studio today. How about you? What are your I know you mentioned in the past too that you're a big fan of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What else are you a fan of?
Honestly, as far as products go, the El Compadre is also a great one. It's quick. It's everything that a 31-year-old guy like me would need. It's just quick, something that you need on the go, or I take it home, warm it up. It's the same thing. As far as the company goes, the favorite parts of the company too, though, is things like being able to make donation myself individually. Is in distribution, it's great to be able to reach out to the community and give back to what we can as far as the community goes when we don't need product. So product can last sometimes 7 days, I believe, is our top.
We pull it after 5 days, but it has 2 days of shelf life left on it.
Okay.
And so we've empowered our drivers that if they have time in the day and if they have the desire, that any returns that they pick up, they can bring and distribute around the city.
Great.
We also partner with Food Lifeline, and they have partnered us with several other local organizations that will pick up our returns and distribute them out to homeless camps and women and children's shelters. Yeah,
I see that in 2017, you guys donated over 16,000 meals in the Seattle and Portland region. That's huge. I mean, that's huge, and people don't realize that the back end of the business. People are always just so focused on being in that now moment. They're hungry now. They want to just be able to supply themselves with the food of their choice for lunch or dinner. But then I realize that there's a whole back end, description into place, and that's like I just said. I mean, we're talking 16,000 meals that went to a great cause, great structured benefits into place, thanks to you guys. And with that being said, I was always curious. Another favorite establishment, and you guys may agree or disagree, is Pagliacci Pizza. I go to one of the locations in the greater Seattle area. And, I think most nights they close at 11. So if you're out and about late and you're hungry and you want a slice of pizza or whatever, you can stop by there 10:45, 10:50. And then sometimes they have like 3 or 4 just like pies just sitting there. And we all know that they're not going to sell all these pies, in the next 10 minutes. So I was asking one of the guys one night, and he said, yeah, like 3 or 4 times a week, one of the food, charitable organizations, one of their trucks comes and picks up food. And so it's good to know that because we definitely have an issue out here in the Northwest with more and more people having tough times and trying to get back on their feet, and ultimately a lot of people do have to they don't have proper foundations into place, and a lot of people don't have a lot of choices, so they do become homeless. And the city here definitely. Bellevue in Seattle, where we broadcast from every day, is all about giving back, and it sounds like you guys have that partnership into proper place to be able to donate and put smiles on people's faces. So, congratulations to you guys for allowing people to be able to eat your wonderful products if they can't necessarily afford them, and that definitely speaks volume. Another thing that's really cool to me that I was looking over, and it says that if Molly's is not in your neighborhood coffee shop, you guys are all about having, you know, the appropriate people, management team, whoever, reach out to you guys, and you guys will get them in there. Like, you know, you guys are about that. And can we talk about just some recent possible spots that occurred in, and now that you guys are in there?
Oh,
Are there a lot?
There's a lot.
Okay.
I can't even name a few of them, but generally we're in mom and pop coffee shops. Those are our bread and butter. That's where we started.
Okay.
And hospitals, corporate and educational campuses.
Yeah.
But really, pretty much every neighborhood, I think one coffee shop carries our products. But if you have your favorite one and we're not in there, reach out to us. And
There you go. And it also says, which is really cool, if you have an upcoming event and you're in need of catering, you can reach out to the Molly's team, and you guys will work accordingly to see and do everything that you guys can do to be able to have people enjoy your products at their functions, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
What do you what would you say you guys enjoy the most? And you guys can answer this individually or together, but what gives you, on top of just kind of what we talked about, you know, you supplying food every day and making people smile and, you know, making them happy to know that they're a fan of Molly's products, and you're allowing them to have that opportunity. But kind of outside of that realm a little bit, what gets you excited about being, you know, in the food business? What are some other characteristics of being, you know, full time in this business that make you excited? You know, when you wake up in the morning and you go to work, like, what are some other things that you really enjoy doing?
I really enjoy that we have high quality ingredients,
Okay.
and we have really strong partnerships. So the ham that's in our lumberjack and the bacon that's in our startup, that comes from Hemplers, and we know Hemplers. We love Hemplers, and we partner with them. Same with the field roast. Our bread comes from Macrina or Essential or Franz.
Okay.
And we just really feel very strongly about being partners with our vendors, not that we're just having a one-sided relationship.
Absolutely.
Additionally, I used to be a driver, and I took great joy in being able to distribute food out to people. And if I was having a bad day, going into a coffee shop and bringing in fresh food, everybody's all smiles, and then bringing out those returns and taking them to a homeless camp and making sure that somebody doesn't have an empty belly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was all around just a really fulfilling job to have.
Nailed it on the head. I have to back her up with that. Actually, she trained me, so I'm a product of her training regimen, and that was it exactly in a nutshell right there. So putting smiles on people's faces, whether they can afford it or not, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it totally is amazing. And I want to put in a good word here for our buddy here. I don't know who reports to one another here, and we don't need to get into that, but he took it upon himself one day a couple weeks ago, before we even started talking, you know, and you know, expressing interest to have you guys come on my show here, and he just, you know, handed me one of the sandwiches, and unfortunately that day I already ate, so I didn't, you know, I wanted someone else to be able to benefit from that. But you've got a great guy here on your team that he's definitely more than what he's doing. He's all about enhancing the brand and talking about the brand, and I've seen it. You know, when you've been down here at Trophies, and you know, not just with me. I know other people I know have come up and asked you questions, and you got to be a good rep. You got to know about the product. You got to be able to answer any questions, and be a good overall support system for the brand that you ultimately stand behind, every day of the week, or however, and you're attached to good old Molly's brand. So I was impressed with your product knowledge and your overall customer service. And
I appreciate that. That's an experience thing that just came from, actually the area. Getting into hospitality up here was easy.
Yep.
Getting used to it was the hardest part.
Yep.
And then, like I said, but because the company really backs people with big hearts, that's just what I'm trying to do, is it's easy to market the things that you have passion in, you know?
Yep.
I mean, Studio 110, boom, you know what I mean? Like, it's huge. This is great. It's a great opportunity to be here. And again, like I said, with Molly's, though, I think it really blew me away as far as learning the process and everything like that. And so now that I get to put my marketing skills and my sales skills, that I had learned over the past into it, it's just, like I said, following a passion kind of thing, and it's just one of so many to come.
There you go. And I'm super excited in terms of how we can continue to leverage this relationship into place, where we can maybe we can talk in the future, and I can get my team to follow up with you guys to, I've always been a huge fan of endorsement opportunities where, not just the peanut butter jelly sandwich, but the field roast sandwich and the other items on your guys' menu that I'm interested to try and, really create some fun, proper awareness with the right platforms to put into place. So maybe we can have that conversation in the future and make Molly's the official Studio 110.live food arrangements, and if not that, then we'll get a little refrigerator for the back of our studio here, somewhere in our studio, and it'll just be stacked. We'll have to give you a key fob so you can get up here to the 33rd floor to constantly be bringing us peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
I'd be honored.
And then maybe we'll still make them together. I mean, how fun would that be to create a video where Dirty Harry's working with you or you, and I'm making sandwiches.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun to come down to your guys' environment and just see another side to maybe myself or you guys. And I think it's all about videos these days. So it's been like that way for a while, and
that'd
creating
be incredible. I think.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to it, when you connect with people and stuff, it is like that. You got to be hands-on. I'll give you the straightforward thing is every day, at least 4 days a week, I try to go in and say hi to there are about 6 people, I think, always on the production line in the morning. You run in real quick, open the doors, scream, "Hey, how you doing, everybody? Good morning," And the 6 of them, they're barely there, but they're just moving away, Yeah. And it's good to make a connection with that. So I think you'd have a lot of fun with that.
I think it would be a lot of fun too. I mean, in the mornings, just like paint me the appropriate picture here. But when we just talk about these sandwiches, I mean, they must be stacked up. I mean, how many sandwiches are they making per day?
I mean, crates.
A few.
Well, I mean, think about it. Vans full. Every day.
That is amazing. I would love to just shake hands with just one of the team members that's applying that peanut butter and jelly, and it's not just any basic. That's another thing I wanted to discuss here. It's not just a basic peanut butter and jelly. You were telling me just the jam is what's the special jam? There's a special jam that's in creation on these sandwiches.
Actually, Summer knows more about that than I do.
Well, the peanut butter is a non-GMO organic peanut butter. That's it.
Okay.
It's just peanuts that have been ground into butter. There's no salt added. There's no additional additives.
Good.
It's such authentic peanut butter that we actually have to whisk it or mix it every day in order to keep it in consistency. And then the jam is a Marionberry jam. Again, it's organic, and it's something that we make in-house.
There you go. So you guys must love, once again, the opportunity not to necessarily take a sandwich or a crate of sandwiches home in your refrigerator, but just some of the jam and peanut butter, because you can put that on whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about. I'm a big fan of mission statements and core values. Your guys' mission is to be the leader in transforming America's health by producing and distributing delicious food that is a source to well-being. Correct. And that's definitely a strong, powerful mission statement. And you mentioned some key words earlier: organic. More and more people are leaning towards organic. And just because we see studies and we read new literature and new product placement about how it's important to put a little bit more money into ultimately what you're putting in your mouth, because with different fruits and how they're sprayed and the process that they go through, it's people don't even realize it. People don't even realize it at the end of the day that there's a reason why organic is organic. So.
Correct. And it's everything from the pesticides used to the soils that your fruit and veg are grown in. So we want to make sure that we're using the highest quality ingredients.
Uh-huh.
Additionally, our meats that we use, the meat, cheese, and dairy, antibiotic-free, hormone-free, humanely raised. Again, we know who our suppliers are. We like to make sure that what we're providing with our customers is the highest quality possible.
And it must be fun, and I don't know if you deal with this, but like when the reps that ultimately represent the suppliers, these different branding effects, when they come in to meet with you or your team to show you and have you try out new products, that must be fun, huh?
It is.
I would be that would be a fun day, just for me to be there on the day that the field roast team comes in there to show you guys new products, because I'm a huge fan of field roast. In fact, I saw it was either at a Mariners game or a Seahawks game. They had like a field roast sandwich My friends were telling me about it, and I never had the opportunity to try it, but I don't know if it's still in place or not. But
I think it's Seahawks. I think Questfield is the one that has a field roast stand.
Yeah.
Field Roast doesn't operate it, but they have Field Roast products in it, and it's a pretty amazing sandwich.
Yeah. Have you tried it? Mm-hmm. So describe it.
It's a hot sandwich, and the chow cheese is on it, which is another product that we're hoping to bring online with a new product that we'll be developing.
Okay.
And that is Field Roast vegan cheese.
Wow.
So what a lot of people may not know is that Field Roast is a completely vegan product.
Okay.
So it's vegan sausage, it's vegan cheese, and high quality stuff as well.
That's great. And really, like when you guys are in kind of your corporate meetings, just to kind of tap into behind the scenes in these types of conversations, what's really kind of the next launching pad for Molly's? If we talk about the next 90 days or 120 days, is it to just be in more doors, have more access to new clientele with these more and more upcoming neighborhoods around the Northwest, or is it to unveil just new product launches? Like what's really kind of the inner core ingredients, no pun intended, since we're talking about food here, but what are really the ingredients in terms of how we're continuing to shape Molly's into the proper product placement?
It's yes to all. We're always bringing on new customers, and sometimes that takes a little while depending on if they have a corporate backer that they have to talk to, or if they're independently owned. And we are releasing new products. So we just released 10 new products last week. We're in product development with 10 more that we'll be releasing over the next couple months.
That's what I'm talking about. Just always reinventing the brand and re-imaging things and bringing some new nuts and bolts into place. Let's also talk about the 3 core values that makes up Molly's at the end of the day. And, you guys obviously value well-being, which is extremely important, healthy habits, relationships, systems for our team, our customers, our partners, overall community relations, to be united as, one team by our, you guys' shared purpose and goal. And you guys ultimately support each other's personal growth inside and outside the workplace, extremely important. And, work is supposed to be fun at the end of the day, and it really is. And I have a lot of friends that just hate their jobs, absolutely hate their jobs. And they're stuck in a grid. They're stuck in an environment that it's not inviting to them, and they're not happy. And I can say, just for me personally, I'm definitely blessed to be in a position that, I love what I do. Like I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about my show and what I'm going to be talking about, and going over all my, my flight plans in terms of my guests and my in-studio guests and my guests that are going to be calling in. So when you love your job, like all 3 of us, we all love our job in here.
Yep.
And it says a lot, really says a lot. It holds a lot of depth and holds a lot of weight at the end of the day. So it's definitely good to be surrounded with good people like yourselves who love your job.
Yeah.
And then the last kind of 3 core value system that represents Molly's is excellence. And you guys are, ultimately stand behind, and you're very committed to operating at your very best, putting forward exceptional effort in every detail from communication, which is, huge. If you don't have good communication, you have nothing. And obviously the proper collaborations to our product and to you guys' services. So who ultimately came up with these 3 core core values that represent Molly's products?
Ultimately, it was Stefan, our CEO and founder, that came up with it. It was crafted with a little bit of our leadership teams. We have a distribution manager and a marketing and sales manager that also helped out. But this was what he wanted to finalize as who we are as a company and who we are as team members. And I think Jesse might have had the same kind of experience as me when I came in for my interview. It's an open office, and there's 7 people that sit in the office. Everybody says hello. They don't even know you, but they want to greet you. And I just felt really welcome. I just knew that this was the culture that I wanted to be in. This is the company culture that I wanted to perpetuate. And I feel like these core values really represent that warm experience that you feel when you walk through our offices. Yeah,
which is super important. Let's talk about, you just mentioned your CEO. What kind of guy is he? Is he the type, like you're saying, does he go and talk to the employees in the morning and have one-on-ones and make everybody kind of feel good, or is he kind of more in the office just kind of running the show?
He's a pretty cool guy. So he actually has another company called Shelf Engine, and it's our partner company, and it helps us to understand what kind of order pars that would be ideal for our customers, because each customer is different and they have different thresholds for their sales. So he created an algorithm called Shelf Engine, and he now works out of that office. He still is our CEO and oversees. He's super available. You can call him on the phone, you can text him. We have this internal communication called Slack, so you can Slack him. But he really cares about every single one of our team members.
Do you guys have like fun Friday afternoon, water cooler events where everybody kind of comes together and you guys are all trying out a new product together, where it's kind of one big circle, happy environment?
Wednesdays we have beer Wednesdays.
You guys got to let me know about that. I mean, I'm not a drinker, but I don't get to come to these because it's an hours thing. The distribution team gets there real early, and we're, trying to get out, go on and do stuff as well. But, one thing I actually did notice is so we're starting to kind of, now that I'm back in the office and stuff like that, I'm working with a couple different people. Like she said, when you walk in, the office is open. It's about all the heads of state, basically, are all sitting right there, and you don't know it because they act and treat you as if like you're one of the family.
Yeah, it's good.
So we walk in, and it's only taken me a couple months, but we're playing volleyball. I've got one of the girls, the production managers, doing volleyball with me, and then now we're playing softball on Tuesdays. So it is a really internal, like I said, family for sure.
It's great.
We're playing all kinds of extracurricular activities together. It's great.
Well, I know you're a busy guy. You're probably up in Bellingham delivering, the proper food arrangements to, wherever you are, Bellingham or.
I'm actually over here on the east side.
Oh, mostly on the east side. Okay. Well, one of your team members is probably up in Bellingham, and so maybe they'll be able to make proper arrangements for you to be part of beer. Was it Beer Wednesdays? Mm-hmm. Beer Wednesdays on so you can. Be part of that.
It'll have to be Milk Wednesdays for me, though.
Yeah. What is the CEO's? What is he excited that's about to emerge and hit store shelves? What would you say would be one of his new favorite products coming out?
Probably the curry tofu sandwich.
Oh, good.
I brought a sample for you.
Oh, good. So him and I have something very similar then, because I don't eat a lot of meat, so that's good. I mean, it's good to know that you guys offer products that fit everybody's dietary needs. It's that's important. You guys aren't just focused on putting out pork belly sandwiches. It's nothing wrong with pork belly sandwiches, but I mean, some people know their customer and they don't want to kind of get out of that threshold a little bit. I've always dreamed for one day, and I don't think I'll ever witness it or see it, but I don't think it's a terrible idea. But you guys can give me your thoughts on it. When we talk about Dick's Hamburgers, an iconic, not a lot of them around anymore, at least for sure in the Northwest, if not the country. But how cool would it be if they made a veggie burger?
I would love it.
The fact that they haven't yet, it's pretty, outstanding. That's a great idea. I mean, why wouldn't they, though? You know what I mean?
Like, why? Honestly, why wouldn't they? Like, I get that it's the same menu since 1932 or whatever it is. Like, I mean. Look, vanilla milkshakes and root beer floats and greasy fries and their hamburgers. I get that that's what people want, but, if we're opening up new stores, which they're doing, they're getting ready to break ground on some new stores down south. I know they're just in the process of opening up a new one in Kent, from what some of my friends tell me. Like, you would think, we'd offer a couple more things to be able to bring in a whole new clientele. I mean, it's probably not much... blood, sweat, and tears off their back to bring in some new menu items, and it's not like they have to, have a whole separate preparation for them. I don't think. I mean, I'm not in the food business, but
it's funny how the Northwest is kind of transforming a lot of that stuff, though.
Yeah.
As far as organics and vegan friendly things, I'm from Tahoe, and it's kind of both sides of the spectrum, but. Up here in the Northwest, it's very apparent. People enjoy it, and it's good to have, like you said, a variety.
There you go. And I know we gotta wrap it up here in a few minutes. I could talk about so many things with you guys, and we'll have to definitely have you guys back in here on the show at Studio 110.live. But I'll give you one more kind of creative thought on a sandwich that I would love you guys to do. I don't know if it's ever been brought up on the drawing board back at the corporate office, but if there was ever a way to create a smoked salmon wrap. So, you know, you take like how you guys can put your wraps into place. So like some smoked salmon, and leave the mayonnaise or tartar sauce completely far away from that, and you know, just some like maybe a good, you know, Italian dressing in conjunction with smoked salmon. I think it'd be. I mean, everybody loves their seafood out here. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I mean, we already got a name for it. It's called the Dirty Harry.
Yeah, the Dirty Harry special smoked salmon wrap or sandwich. I mean, I would be a huge. I would probably be your best customer. I mean, I would do my own videos at the house in front of the refrigerator, just highlighting Molly's products. So the CEO would want to knock on my door, saying like, "Hey, man, like we've got to develop this partnership into place." So
That sounds good.
so
Awesome.
I wouldn't want to not leave you guys with some good creative flow in terms of what I think could be, you know, what could be in line with your already great establishment in terms of what's already on your guys' store shelves. So I think it's something to take into consideration. So
All right, the
Thank
Dirty
you.
Harry, check.
there you go. I want to thank you guys for being my official first in studio food connoisseurs, food you know, a great platform here in the Northwest, Molly's Products. And I think there's a lot of fun things that we can continue to do, that we can put into place, into motion here at Studio 110.live. I'm sure we got some shout outs that we need to give to some people out there, either at the corporate office that are watching, but the floor is yours to give some shout outs to family, friends, whoever you guys want to, the CEO.
Thanks. Well, you know, we love Stefan, Christina, and Michelle. They're our leadership team, and Nathaniel, and our chef, Josh, which I'll be bringing back that idea of the smoked salmon sandwich
Good.
to him.
Please let me be one of the first to try before anybody else, you know, around the state gets to try this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to be the first one to devour one of these smoked salmon, delicious. However you're going to construct it, you know, on bread, on wrap, however you're going to do it. But I want to be one of the first to devour that bad boy. So,
Thank you.
That
Thank
sounds
you.
good for sure, definitely.
and then I'm sure you got some shout outs. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mom. Hey, Mom.
Oh, can't forget about Mom.
She is listening.
Yeah.
She's the first person I had to hit up today about this, of course. She's number one. But then, yeah, of course, all my friends up here down in California, things like that. And again, really what this is about is, you know, understanding that what we're trying to do is promote reaching out to people, because sometimes all it takes is just somebody to say hello, give a good hello to, and, you know, maybe a sandwich or two. And that's all it takes, just to be kind up here in the Northwest.
And that's really how you and I, buddy, ultimately met each other. One day, my producer and assistant was with me down at Trophies. And if it wasn't for Trophies, this never would have happened. So let's also thank Trophies establishment. I love their orange juices down there for $7.95, $8 for an orange juice. Totally acceptable. I mean, I could go to QFC or Safeway and buy 3 gallons and still have orange juice for the next couple of days. But I've actually asked that question. I said, what exactly makes this frickin' orange juice, you know, $7 or $8 for a cup of orange juice? And they said, well, they said it's multiple organic oranges and how it's, you know, how they're pressed into effect and the whole process that it goes through. I said, so you're telling me that I can't go to QFC and buy a couple of organic oranges, get a plastic random cup, you know, do what they do ultimately, and have the same drink for, you know, a couple bucks, you know, I mean, you know, but, you know, like I said, you know, when we broadcast from where we broadcast here from at Studio 110.live, we need to be paying top dollar for these quality foods and these ingredients that make up these proper channeling effects. So I'm all about it. I mean, you'll never see me pay $50 for a croissant. But, you know, one day I will. On a special day, I told Erica that I'll treat her to a $7 orange juice. And we'll make it a fun day. So thank you again for coming on the big show here today at Studio 110.live. Tell Stefan and everybody behind the scenes that I'm looking forward to maybe having the opportunity to meet them as you guys continue to as we continue to this partnership here together.
Okay, thank you
Do
so
we get
much.
samples?
Yeah, I brought enough to fill your fridge.
We do,
Yeah.
and definitely let us know. You know, we'll be here for the grand opening too, and I mean, trust me, that's a lot of people to invite. So we'll be here, Molly's whole team.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to you guys being at the big launch party here for my show this coming Saturday. There'll be a lot of surprise guests, DJs, artists, performers, fashion people, our big opportunity that we're teaming up with for a great cause, DC, to allow kids to have the proper awareness and the proper understanding to be able to get into media, radio, TV, the music business. So super, super excited about that.
Plus, you guys, who want to be virtual reality Dirty Harry?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Shout out to my buddy Eugene, who came on the show yesterday, and he did a really good job. I'm super excited for all the fans to be able to see the Dirty Harry VR character that he built out. And then normally this thing's not cheap to do. I mean, it's several thousands of dollars to be able to get it. So who knows? Maybe one of his upcoming clients will be someone from the Molly's team, and that'll be all over your screens when everybody's constructing these amazing, delicious peanut and butter and jelly sandwiches and these upcoming smoked salmon wraps and everything, connected together. So super excited in terms of what the flight plan has in place for us and everybody together. So thank you again for coming by today. And Erica will, if you guys want to hang out and get some pictures, or if you guys have to go, then no problem. But I am stuck here in the captain's chair in the hot seat for another 20 minutes until we sign up. But we do have a green room down the hall. You're more than welcome to hang out in the studio, whatever you guys want.
I'll never say no to that, and thank you so much.
Thank you, and I know I don't have to go downstairs and spend my hard work and money on a delicious after show treat, because I don't even know what you guys have down there, but I'll keep it a surprise. So with that being said, a couple things to address here before we get to our next in studio guest here, and we will try to get to everything that we need to get to here, but I'm not going to read the whole full story in completion. But an interesting story that did come out earlier today. That you can't ignore a story like this. But Kanye West has come out to say he loves Donald Trump. He's also come out to say that Donald Trump is his brother. So now everybody knows that if we're going to take Kanye seriously, or if we're thinking that he's joking, he really refers to President Trump as his brother. So interesting story. He doesn't really care what mob mentality says. He loves President Donald Trump, even though he doesn't agree with all of his politics. Kanye West declared his overall liking to Trump's dragon energy in response to a DJ Ebro, I know Ebro, saying that Kanye had confessed to loving Trump. As everybody knows, Kanye is not one to run from controversy, never has been, never will. And instead, he ultimately leaned into the proper platform, saying, you don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything he does, but at the end of the day, Kanye West is my brother. So that's coming from Kanye West. A nice thing for Kanye to come out and say, regardless of whatever you feel like in terms of your political views. It's always nice to come out and say nice things about people. I'm not going to ever share my political thoughts on this show, but like I said, I think it was a good move for Kanye to take whatever side he's going to take and embrace that to the fullest capability. I want to welcome in my next in-studio guest here today. You look like you just got off if you want to put the headphones on here, you look like you just got off a private jet, or you just got off stage, or you just performed in front of 30,000 people. You always dress for the occasion, a running joke in radio, and for other radio stations, for the people that actually still listen to radio. This is a live podcast show, just to be able to summarize the difference. You can't normally see people, but of course, on my show here at Studio 110.live, we've got multiple cameras in here, so all about seeing, what we all wear and how we dress every day. So you're definitely dressed for the occasion. I like the belt. It says H. My first name is Harris, and so I actually have a men's version of that belt at the house. Need to pull it out of the whatever bag it's in. But welcome back to the show, my friends. Last time I saw you, you were getting ready to take a long airplane ride to represent your country, and let's talk about that. How was that trip? You can come closer to the mic here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First, I would like to wish everybody good health and have a good day. The weather is stunning outside. I just came back from the shooting in the Tulip Festival. Yeah. Yes. So try to make it on the way here on time. Thank God.
Great.
No traffic.
Well, I'm glad that you made it on time. And so, how was the trip? How was the trip to your home country? You went out there for 2 weeks, right? To Vietnam?
Yes, it's more than 2 weeks. It's a very fun, exciting, and I did a lot of charity events for my platform as a queen.
Yep.
And also a good chance to visit family, friends.
There you go. So if you're just tuning into the show right now, it's Studio 110.live. I've got my last special guest of the show on the air with me. I've got Miss Vietnam. And how much longer do you hold the title for before you pass it on to the next contestant? It's coming up, right? Is it next month, or how many more months is it?
August 5th.
Okay, so it's a few more months.
I will pass my crown to the new queen.
And that's at the MGM? MGM?
No, it's in South Point Hotel in Nevada, in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at the MGM. Maybe that was I've had a couple different contestants in, but that's exciting. So that's coming up in August. So what do you hope to ultimately accomplish? What do you want to still be able to do as you represent, you being the queen, you being Miss Vietnam, obviously? What are some other things that you want to be able to do before you pass it on to the next big winner down in Las Vegas?
Of course, I would love to do a lot of things, mostly charity.
Okay.
As a queen, we have more privilege.
Yep.
We have more chance to go out, and our voice it's easier to encourage or to ask for help.
Yep.
But after passing the crown to the new queen, I'm still keep doing the same thing.
Good.
That's
Good.
what I love to do.
And that's very important to know ultimately where you come from and your foundation, and that you don't, even though you're not going to necessarily be the official Miss Vietnam, you're still going to be able to visit people and be able to do the charitable organizations that you take part in, and continue to represent your country here in America to the highest visibility overall.
Yes, you know what? Just 2 nights before, on Monday night, I also volunteer cooking for the homeless.
Oh, nice.
So I did that quite a while ago in the past, but I stopped because of all of that passion.
Okay.
Pull me away and travel a lot. Now I get back to the same pattern. So I could continue doing that. Cooking for the homeless is the best thing I feel. It's very happy when you see them enjoy your food.
It's rewarding.
Yes, it's rewarding, and see people like happy when they have something to eat. They have the place just like a family.
Yep.
When they gather with friends, sitting around and talk and enjoy the food.
That's
very
great.
glad, yeah.
What did you make for them? What did you cook for them?
Last time I make a fried rice. It's very funny. It's so stressful because fried rice, usually we cook the rice the day before and we put it in the refrigerator. But that's when I cook the rice just right at the spot, and we have like short time, less than an hour.
Wow.
So the rice is young rice, so it's so soft and sticky, and it's still hot. And we have to fry it immediately because if they're coming, they queue in a long line. I have to hurry and sweat and stress. But in the end, it looked ugly, but it tastes so good.
How many hours were you in the kitchen for preparing, and how many people did you feed for that particular mission that you were embracing upon?
Around 100.
100 people?
More or less, yes.
Wow.
That's the place. They have a big kitchen, and they have table and chair and everything. And we have a group of volunteer sign up online, like friend request or something that we connected. It's just the people we know, because somebody go inside the kitchen, we need to know if that person adjustable
sure.
or clean or yeah. So it's a good connection, and we have different group divided, like depend on what dishes you're going to make on that day. So they have team, they form up a team.
Okay.
And then everybody concentrate and very fast, very serious. Like around 6:45 we have to be there, and then cook until 9. Around 9 they start to line up, long line from the outside in.
Wow.
And then we serve them very fast, and after eating we clean up everything on the same night.
So when you make fried rice, I've seen I've made it. It's been a long time, but it takes a proper production and proper with the right tools and resources
Correct.
to be able to make the proper fried rice. So how many people were helping you, and then how long did it ultimately take to be able to feed over 100 people?
I think that day, oh my God, I was stressed at the end. I worried that we don't have the food right at the same time, because we need to chop all of the thing in small pieces, and then wait for the rice to be cooked first.
Okay.
Then we can fry.
Okay.
And the rice turned out like soft because of the young rice. It stick together. It's like a sweet rice.
Yep.
The fried rice supposed to be separate.
Yep.
And then you have to put in the refrigerator the night before. But I have one help That's my friend that I brought with me.
Okay.
I just have to chop the thing.
Yeah.
And then after when we cook, the big pot and it's sticky.
Yep.
It's supposed to be a non-stick pot, but we don't have that there. A big pot and it's sticky at the end. So I try very hard to stir it up. It's lucky it didn't get burned.
Well, it's not your first time making it. I mean, you made probably a few different versions of fried rice. So but it must have felt really good at the end of the day to be able to prepare food for the homeless, which is a big mission, which is a big ongoing problem out here in the Pacific Northwest is more and more homeless people. And I guarantee you it's probably one of the best meals they've had in a long time.
Oh, they love it. I was so shocked and surprised that it turned out so amazing. It tastes so good. They tried it before the leader, the CEO, he found it and he tried to taste on. He said, it tastes good. Yeah. The only thing is that the rice is broken because it's too sticky. But it tastes good. And they said that, are you sure you cook that? It's too much. It's too big giant pot of rice. You sure that it's too much? In the end, just halfway, it's gone.
Yeah.
It finished before. Yeah. So happy.
Was it vegetarian or did you put meat or people don't they also make it with shrimp, different ingredients?
I cook with peas, carrot, corn.
Oh, okay.
Onion, and I don't know how to pronounce. I forgot a big piece of beef, and we chop into small pieces.
Okay. Yeah.
Barcelona or something.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the exact name of that particular meat that you're referring to, but it sounds like it was a wonderful meal, and you, like I said, put smiles on a lot of people's faces, and that's a rewarding feeling. So, props to you. Also, last time I saw you, you were very excited to go visit the cherry blossoms.
Yes.
Last time you were on the air with me in the studio, you were in a hurry to leave and be able to do one of your official photo shoots by the iconic cherry blossoms on the University of Washington property up there, and sounds like that was a good time for you too, huh?
Oh my God, I got stunning photos on that day.
Yeah.
So beautiful. The weather was nice. It's a bit cold.
Yeah.
But I tell you, these are funny stories. The photographer told me that, that tree, the angle is so beautiful. I said, you want me to climb it up? I climb up to the tree with the awya,
Because I remember the dress that you were making. You made it. You made it because you're in fashion. You make clothes.
Yes. I designed, make it myself. But that day I was shocked when I just managed to climb up to the tree with that clothes. Yeah. A lot of people were looking at me. I climb up to the corner of the trees and I rest again and just so relaxed and comfortable and beautiful angle. In the end, I got very beautiful picture on that tree. It's climbing, and then later the security man told me to go down. I said, I'm sorry.
I mean, you wanted to probably spend the night in the tree, right? You just didn't want to leave the cherry blossoms. You wanted to be there all night. If it would have been up to you, you would have had a Miss Vietnam tent under the frickin' tree, and you would have just embraced it. You would have had a fried rice party under this cherry tree.
I can sleep overnight on that tree. It's so relaxing. Yeah. I love nature. I love beautiful flower. Yeah. Seattle is the place for me. That's why I love it.
It's a great place. What would you say in terms of your recent trip to Vietnam? You were there for several weeks. You went and visited kids who are ill and people that are going through troubling times, and you did a lot of pictures and speaking engagements. Out of everything that you did on your entire trip, representing your country, what was like the one thing that just you absolutely loved? What was that one moment from the entire trip that you were there? What was the one thing that you enjoyed doing the most?
A lot of beautiful memories during that time, but the memories that's shocking me the most is that we went up to the top of the hill of the mountains, highland. The road to go up is so skinny and rocky and it's steep hill. But the motorcycle took us. We were sitting behind. It was scary. Yeah. It's just one mistake, he get out of the track. Yeah. We're gone. So that's it, the memories. But it's not very touching my heart compared to the one that I visited the hospital in Vietnam. A lot of people got sick and ill, and they're very poor. Yeah. They're lying on the road. They don't have place to stay when they have their family was sick in the hospital. Sure. And you don't have money to pay for the hotel. So they sleep all around with hammock, with just blankets on the road.
Too bad. Terrible.
It's sad.
Terrible.
So I visit them, and it's never enough. Yeah. I give them envelope with money inside, and I bought milk, sugar, toothbrush, toothpaste, towel, and some intense stuff
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it finished very fast. It's like some hundred of them.
Wow.
The queue in long line is very crowded and hard. It's hard touching and it's hard to hold your tea on.
Sure. Have you thought about this speech? Have you thought about working on the speech that you're going to be making in front of a lot of people in August when you do pass on the crown to the next ultimate winner for Miss Vietnam? Have you thought about what you want to say, or you haven't really started to prepare the speech that you're going to make in front of all the people that'll be watching?
I'm sorry to tell that I haven't had chance to prepare yet. I'm super busy.
Yeah.
I have too many things to plan, especially now I have to concentrate on setting up my house that I moved. I want to do the fashion boutique at home and set my fashion collection.
And how's the fashion collection doing?
Just start sketching the design, but I haven't have the tailor to make it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be a stunning and glamour.
I'm super excited to continue to talk to you because you and I both know that you're a fashion designer on top of wearing all the hats that you wear, Miss Vietnam, and you given so much back to your community here and your home country of Vietnam, and you're also a designer. You have the you still have the courage and the will to. Because a lot of people wouldn't want to take on anything else, but you still are sketching new concepts and ideas for people to be able to go and purchase, whether it's a formal gown or jackets or all the things that you've told me about that you construct for your line.
Yeah, because my hobby is I enjoy seeing people happy and healthy and beautiful. I like to see people around happy and good, feel good and look good.
Yep.
I'm also a yoga teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
How often do you teach yoga?
I will post my yoga post online soon.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I've tried getting into yoga a few times, and it just wasn't. Maybe I need to try it a little bit more. But I did try it a few times, and it just wasn't. I enjoy going on runs outside and doing push-ups and sit-ups and cardio and everything. Everybody has things that they enjoy. So
you will addicted to it if you try a few more times. Trust me. It's one of the best exercise in the world now.
Well, maybe I'll come to one of your classes. How funny would that be if I just showed up randomly as a surprise? I'm like the last person with a mat in the back of a room when the room's, is it hot yoga or just regular?
Both hot yoga and regular
yoga. Okay. Because I know for the hot yoga, that's just, can be dehydration central. So if you're not drinking enough water, the medical will have to be called, and you'll have an IV in your arm to get you back to your proper state. So.
But you heard from some aspect from the other men, they like to go hot yoga, even they don't like the hot. You know why?
Why?
Hot yoga women wear hot clothes.
Oh yeah, that, of course, that's the obvious, and but you would think though that people would go to it just to, because a lot of people they're trying to lose weight and they're trying to tone up, going into summer, barbecues and boats and everything that consists of fun summertime activities. So, but yeah, there's always the obvious in place. I want to thank you. For coming on the air with me today. And
thank you for inviting.
Yeah, thank you for coming back. And next time you come back, I know it'll be closer probably to you giving the title to the next up and coming contestant down there in Las Vegas. Yeah. And we'll be able to talk about the fashion brand, more about what's coming into play. And I remember last time you were here, you told me that we could maybe talk about designing some fun neckties.
Yes.
Sometimes I wear neckties.
Handmade necktie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hand painting
or
beading on it with ties more for art.
Yeah.
It's very different from all the necktie outside for office wear.
Yeah.
This one more artist. It's more on specific.
More creative.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking forward to that. So I want to thank you for coming by the big show this afternoon, Studio110.live. Make sure you're following us on our Instagram, Studio110.live. Got a lot of really fun videos and pictures up there. Probably one of my favorite ones is Sir Mix-a-Lot and I, our little conversation that we had. So definitely check that out. I want to thank all my in-studio guests today. Of course, Miss Vietnam and my friends from, thank you. And my friends from Molly's Products. I love their peanut butter jelly sandwich. That's one of my go-to staples. every day before I, sign on every day and host this fine radio live podcast show at studio110.live. Had my buddy Tony Shellman on the line with me today, a big fashion executive, iconic figure out of New York City. He's pretty much worked with every celebrity to put their clothing brands into place. Been friends with him for a number of years. So shouting out, I know he's still watching, Tony Shellman. Looking forward to seeing you next time you come out here to the Northwest. I also want to shout out my boy DC, also on the air with me today, and looking forward to having DC bring in some of his students that he teams up with for his great organization that we're teaming up with here for a great cause. It's all about great proper alliances and giving back to the community. Students that are trying to emerge into the communications broadcasting arena. So I had DC on. He'll be in with me tomorrow. And I just want to thank all my guests that watch and listen to the big show here Monday through Friday. Studio110.live. Make sure you're following us, and looking forward to being back on the air tomorrow afternoon. I want to thank my whole crew here up here at Studio110.live. I want to thank my show producer, Erica, and my assistant, and Aaron, and Haley, and Jen, and Julianne, and Pierre, and Cristiano, and Ryan from FutureNet, and everybody that makes this show so bright every day on this platform. Super excited to be back on the air. With that being said, we're going to sign off. We're on time, 3 o'clock out here on the West Coast. Yes.
Do not forget to purchase your tickets before it's sold out. We only have a limited amount of tickets left. So guys, make sure, we're probably going to sell by tomorrow. So be a part of this cause. Definitely get some food and, really make sure that you kind of capture being a part of the Studio 110 official launch party.
There you go. And that was my producer assistant, Erica, who was here till 11:30 last night working on this big old function that's going to be in place this coming Saturday night for the launch party. So yes, come out and support us. It's going to be a great event, great cause, benefiting great people that are just trying to get their opportunities in the communications broadcasting arena. So with that being said, we will sign off for the day, and I'm looking forward to trying one of these Molly's products. If it's another peanut butter jelly sandwich, well, that'll be number 2. I probably won't do that today, but maybe I'll do one of their other exciting food menus that they brought down here on the big show today. With that being said, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and I'll be talking to you and seeing you back at it tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard